Hey, thanks for stopping by. Hope you're all having a great Monday. It is not my normal time to be doing a live video, but a couple of things have come to my attention. Um, so I thought I would go ahead and share and see where we go with this, right? First off, it sounds like the Rochester City Council, Rochester, Minnesota City Council, and the Rochester mayor have decided they're going to vote again on extending the mask date for Rochester. Um, Thus, the title of the video mandates will continue until morale improves. And by morale, that means total and utter compliance, whether you like it or not. And well, we know how that went this last few weeks. So make sure you're voicing your displeasure and your discontent in a civil and polite way with the Rochester City Council and with the Rochester Mayor's office, letting them know that if you've been in the Rochester area, if you've been in the city at all in Rochester, as you go into any business, the number of people not complying with the mayor's mask date is growing exponentially. And I have personally not attended worship since this because my church that I had been attending decided they were going to, at the last minute, agree with the mayor's mask date. So there you have it. Uh, for those of you that have not heard, I have reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and this morning I refused. I received official notification that I have now been added to the YouTube Partner Program, where I can sell my soul to make money on YouTube. Okay, I'm not going to sell my soul. I'm going to continue to be who I am, say the things that I say, and do the things that I do. But I want to thank you. By and large, most of my subscriptions have come from people on Facebook sharing my content and other people on Facebook watching my content and then sharing it and subscribing. And now also this is happening through Twitter. And as some of you also know, a few weeks ago, I interviewed a gentleman named John Del Rose. He is the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction, and he has had me on his channel now. Uh, and that's bumped up my subscriptions. Carter and Keri from Unsafe Space have helped with that too. In fact, I will be appearing on Unsafe Space this afternoon in about an hour to talk about my experience in the law enforcement world and also talking about, for lack of better terminology, uh, how my view as a paleo conservative, right of center individual has shifted in how I approach my support of law enforcement and what that looks like. Um, Now, I'm not going to obviously go into the full scope of my views in totality, but suffice it to say, there is a reason why people who are conservative, people who are libertarian, people who are right of center are slowly starting to back away from the unmitigated, absolute 100% back law enforcement in every situation. And so you take what happened up here in the Twin Cities just over this last um, weekend, you're seeing, for lack of better terminology, you're starting to see that a lot of people are incredibly frustrated with things like no knock warrants. An innocent man was shot and killed in his own home, sleeping on his couch. He had a gun, and people come busting through his door, and you're going to do what you're going to do, and you're going to pick up your firearm because you don't know what's happening. And before he even had a chance to respond or to recognize the situation, he was gunned down on a no knock warrant. And this is why people on the right are starting to be more cautious and apprehensive in blanket support of law enforcement. No knock warrants are a major problem, are a major problem for law enforcement. They are a massive concern for all citizens. And there's a lot of questions about whether or not they violate the Constitution and the amendments in what it means to have a uh, right to be free of unlawful searches and seizures. And what we see, and this has happened time and time and time again, yet again, another man has lost his life as a result of a justice system, a legal system, a law enforcement system that's failing. It's failing. It's failing. And and we see this being played out in Canada. Now, granted, Canada is a separate and sovereign nation from the United States, but law enforcement in Canada, instead of doing the right thing and backing up the truckers and their right to peacefully protest, are now threatening military action against the trucking convoy, the truck protest. Now, ironically, they called in large, heavy-duty tractors, wreckers, to come and start towing trucks away, and the wreckers actually joined the protest. So, what did law enforcement in Ottawa do? They turned on the people that were offering support, and so they started arresting private citizens for bringing food and fuel and whatnot to the truckers. Canada is on the verge of civil war, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not because of the private citizens who are protesting their government's overreach. It's on the verge of civil war because the statists are doubling down. Don't think this isn't going to come to the United States, because March 1st will show us that the trucking industry, the trucking field in the United States, is planning a mass protest. You better be out there filling your shelves at home before the shelves in the stores are empty, by the way. And you can make no mistake that left of center Marxist progressives like Tim Walz and Keith Ellison and our esteemed president and his co-president will use force against peaceful protesters, not against violent, thuggish people who are going to burn down their neighborhoods and communities, but they'll use force on peaceful protesters. They will call these truckers insurrectionists come March 1st. They will call those who support them supporters of terrorism. That will happen. And the media will propagate that image, just like they're doing in Canada. So, as many of you know, I got merch now. I have my coffee, selling that. So, I also I have my first sponsor coming on board. I'll be talking about that in future videos coming up here. And it's a very, very good tool that I'll be promoting. And so look forward to that. Once again, thank you for the 1,000 subs on YouTube. Thank you for all the support on Rumble. Thank you for commenting and sharing. Yeah, that's right. Right here we got CL Lewis, We the Fringe. Yes, exactly. We the Fringe. We have to understand that we have to support one another. I'm working with a group of people in Southeast Minnesota talking about starting a medical freedom clinic. Not a free clinic, but a medical freedom clinic that is going to specialize in helping people who do not want to do business with Mayo or Olmsted Medical Center, who do not want to have the jab forced on them, who do not want to have people that are taking care of them having the jab forced on them. And one of the admonitions that I gave them today was, ladies and gentlemen, you have to do this on your own. You have to make yourselves uncancelable. And that means entrepreneurial action, taking action on your own, not making yourself a wage slave to another business. Now, we all have to work. Sadly, we just can't in our society today. We can't all be ruggedly individualistic in the sense of not having income. But we can now start branching out, and we can start putting effort into supporting one another through cottage industries and market industries and small market industries. So if you're interested in coffee, send me a private message on Facebook. Send me an email at tcpearson@protonmail.com. I take Zelle now. I try to ship out same day or day after an order. I cut a break on shipping right now. So if you buy a 1-pound bag of my coffee, it's $15 for the coffee and $5 for the shipping. I'm absorbing some of the shipping costs on that. The more coffee you buy, the cheaper the shipping is going to end up being for both of us. Um, but once again, send me a private message or send me an email at tcpearson@protonmail.com and support me, because when you support me, you're supporting another small business. And there again, I've got merch. Then I've got tumblers coming. I have low ball glasses. I'm going to be working on high balls and shot glasses. I have shirts, and we're going to be working on hats. Um, so there again, it, for what? You may never wear it. You may only drink coffee once in a while. You may only drink a mixed drink once in a while. It's less about how often you're using it, more about that we're supporting this and we're building up this infrastructure within the conservative, constitutionalist, patriotic movement, wherein we become self-sufficient. And so, all of that being said, if you're interested, once again, message me, email, and then find somebody in your area that you can support in that way. Go to the mom and pop places. Stop going to the chain restaurants. As much as you can, shop independent, shop local. Um, I understand that for a lot of us, the pocketbook can't handle that, but you do what you can. And also this week on Wednesday, I'm going to be conducting an interview with a distillery here in Southeast Minnesota, and I'm looking forward to being able to put that out, because these people, right, Mike Arthur, don't drink Starbucks. Don't drink Starbucks when you can order from me, right, Mike? Skipper, you keep saying you're going to order. Yeah, I'm picking on you right here, live on YouTube and on Facebook, Skipper. So do what you can for the local businesses. Stay away from Caribou. Right, exactly, Teddy Bear. Globalists will not stop, and we can't. So we can't either. Like, this is a fight. It absolutely is a fight. It might be, at this point, it might be an entrepreneurial, grassroots kind of fight and movement, but it's worth having and it's worth engaging in. And it's just like with monetization. YouTube can step in and limit the monetization or make it unavailable for my videos, and that's fine. And I'm okay with that to a degree. They have that freedom. They are a private platform. Now there's some debate back and forth about exactly how much they can and cannot limit things. But that being said, excuse me, I'm catching up with me. What matters in these situations is recognizing that there are people out there. I have a neighbor literally less than a half a block away. I've probably never said more than 2 words to him in passing, even though he walks by my place all the time, who has now ordered coffee from me. He's ordered a tumbler from me. He's ordered another bag of coffee from me because of the message. And he talks to other people. Two people here in my town who both work for the same public entity, when I've gone to ship out coffee, have said, "Hey, I want to try that," are now becoming regular customers. And that is why we do what we do. This is how we fight back. See, that's how we make ourselves and our fellow constitutionalists, our fellow republic-minded people uncancelable, is we support one another. We support those local farmers. Find that farmer in your area who's raising hogs, who's raising cattle, who's raising sheep, who's raising poultry. My brother is a really good example of this. My brother started an organic farm. It's going to take him a few years to reach that organic certification, but they're raising it with organic process in place. They're doing a phenomenal job. I have another family member who has a small little acreage here just outside of the town that I live in. They're doing the same thing, and they're selling meat packages, and they can hardly keep caught up. That's what we need to be doing, is that kind of stuff. So, and I said this once before. I'm going to get ready to end this here so I can kind of get ready to go on with Carter and Keri here in a little bit. Thank you for the subs. Do this old man a favor. Now that I'm monetized, and I got a friend, Greg, he doesn't like that terminology, but I'm just using the terminology that all the other platforms use. If you happen to have that TV that you can turn on in the background and just put my channel on and run the videos all day long, just kind of run through it. That helps. And if you have other channels that you like that have your views and share your viewpoints, do that. Let them, let them play, because the more they play, the more it drives them up in the algorithm. The more it drives them up in the algorithm, the more ads get run on their stuff. The more ads that get run on their stuff, the more money that they make. Use the system against the system. It's one of Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. Whenever possible, make the enemy play by their own rules. So, hey, maybe they're going to try and silence conservative right of center voices. That's fine. But while we have the ability, let's use the system against itself. Order coffee, support local businesses, i.e. me, as I support other local businesses. Both my coffee provider and the people who are making my merchandise are local, small-owned, patriotic businesses. Share the content and contact the Rochester, Minnesota City Council and let them know that you will not comply with another mask date. Incredibly important that we share that mentality. We need to take a cue from the truckers in Canada, and we need to start bringing this to the United States. Of all the places in the world that should be able to do this, it is the United States. Yet we're dragging our feet because we enjoy our comfort way too much. So as I say every time, one, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a supporter, a fan, whatever. Feels weird saying fan. I'm not comfortable with that. But thank you for being a supporter. And thank you for taking a stand and recognizing the things that are happening and how wrong they are. And now, sic semper tyrannis.